First-year students at Penn's vet school were in their anatomy class, their first anatomy class, with a dead cow. They were all at the surgery table with the body covered by a white sheet. The professor started the class by telling them, in veterinary medicine, it is necessary to have two important qualities as a doctor. The first is that you not be disgusted by anything involving the animal body. For an example, the professor pulled back the sheet, stuck his finger in the rear end of the cow, withdrew it, and stuck it in his mouth. Go ahead and do the same thing, he told the students. Well, of course, they freaked out a little bit, but eventually took turns sticking a finger in the rear end of the cow and then sucking on it. When everyone finished, the professor looked at them and said, "The second most important quality is observation. I stuck in my middle finger and I sucked on my index finger. Now, learn to pay attention. Life is tough, but it's even tougher if you're stupid." Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Steele, for inviting me to make a few remarks. It really is a pleasure and an honor for me to join you this morning. When I accepted this responsibility, I wasn't really sure what I would say to you. The purpose of a commencement speech, I think, is to impart some wisdom and offer some words of advice and inspiration to send you off into the real world. I never think of myself as old enough to have any wisdom. One of my best friends, who, lucky me, happens to be a coworker I see every day, suggested that I tell you that the real world stinks and that you should stay in school. Well, he's kind of a grumpy guy in general, and he was mostly joking. And lucky for you this morning, I don't think the real world stinks. And I realized that I do have a few things that I can share with you. So stop thinking about the flavor of creamer ice cream you're going to get before you leave Happy Valley and pay attention. It really is the least I can do since I dressed up for the occasion. Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln are two of my favorite leaders, and I find many of their thoughts profound and inspiring. So I will include some of their wisdom as well in the next few minutes. But let me give you a little more of an idea of what I do at the House of Representatives and how I got from here to there. I came to Penn State to study the grand world of the agricultural sciences. I was fortunate enough to have a professor here who encouraged my independent study of animal rights and animal welfare legislation. And in my sophomore year, he sent me to Harrisburg to meet with the executive director of the Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee for the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. I was so inspired after just a few hours with him that that's when I discovered how to marry two of my interests, agriculture and the law, and that I wanted his job. Several persistent years later, with some good connections and my proud Penn State agriculture education, I got his job, my dream job. And 15 years later, it is still my dream job. Now I am the executive director for the Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee for the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. Without giving you a civics lesson, I will simply remind you that there are three branches of government, and I do not work for the governor. My job is to support my bosses, which are all of the Republican members of the House of Representatives, by providing them with accurate information on issues related to agriculture in Pennsylvania. Thankfully, I only have to know and understand our state law, so no, I cannot explain the federal farm bill. A lot of what I do is provide the answer to questions from constituents, which sometimes means creating a solution with new law. My job is political in nature. My advice and counsel is proprietary to the members of our caucus, but I do serve the public every day. With that perspective in mind, I would like to share with you some things I've learned are important in the real world. Did you know that Penn State is Pennsylvania's land-grant institution? Do you know what that means? As Penn State agriculture graduates, you should. But for those of you who do not, I will briefly explain. In 1862, Abraham Lincoln signed a law which provided each state with public lands to establish colleges to teach agriculture and the mechanic arts. These land-grant institutions have a greater mission than other colleges and universities, and that mission is to offer teaching, research, and public outreach. The idea is to conduct research, teach it to the attending students, but also reach out and teach it to the using public. In the time of Lincoln, most of the using public were farmers. These three elements of the land-grant mission, the essence of Penn State, teaching, research, and public outreach, should play a role in your lives beyond Penn State. I have some other ideas to share with you that are also important, but I really have not organized them in any order of importance. Thomas Jefferson said, "It is neither wealth nor splendor, but tranquility and occupation which give you happiness." I am so lucky to have a job that I love going to every day with coworkers and colleagues who are my friends beyond the workplace. I am employed by the Commonwealth. The taxpayers pay my salary. I don't do my job for the wealth. I have learned that if you are doing what you love, you will be infinitely more satisfied in your lives. So make sure you do what you love, even if it doesn't buy you the nicest car in the parking lot. I think honesty is the rule you should live by. If you're not honest, you're not respected. And if you're not respected, how can you be credible? And can you really live with yourself? My job sometimes requires me to carefully handle sensitive and proprietary information. In the realm of politics, where there is an inherent distrust, I have always been honest in my work and am careful not to mislead. Abraham Lincoln said, "If you once forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizens, you can never regain their respect and esteem." I personally do not want to count dishonest people among my fellow Penn State alumni. We are better than that. In all of your endeavors, you should put forth your best effort, no matter what the task. Even if you fail, you will know that you tried your best. And isn't that how you keep your soul healthy and move on to the next challenge? In his 1859 address to the Wisconsin State Agricultural Society, Abraham Lincoln said, "Every man is proud of what he does well, and no man is proud of that he does not well. With the former, his heart is in his work, and he will do twice as much of it with less fatigue. The latter he performs a little imperfectly, looks at it in disgust, turns from it, and imagines himself exceedingly tired. The little he has done comes to nothing for want of finishing." Sometimes you have to do some research to make a better product. I'm not talking about necessarily the kind that you do with a Bunsen burner or a Petri dish. I mean, do you know how to find answers? Do you know how to evaluate information and determine the factual and the valuable from the sensational and the propaganda? You do all know that Wikipedia is written by the general public, right? Make sure your research results are valid, whatever type of research that may be, and that will help you know you did your best. Practically none of us can escape the media attention that is now being given to the presidential race. And of course, who we elect as our nation's president is very important. But what many people do not realize is that it is local government where it is the level where decisions are made that really affect our daily lives. Hopefully sometime soon you will purchase property. And when you want to make changes, like build a fence, tear down a fence, put in a swimming pool, maybe even just paint your house a different color, there will be local ordinances that will affect what you want to do with your property. Even if you don't own property in a community, you still live there. So I encourage you, at the very least, get to know the people who run your local government and definitely vote in those elections. And at the very best, become one of those people, at least for a while. It will give you a greater appreciation for the challenges every community faces as well as how it functions. Reach out, volunteer. It is very rewarding to know that you make a difference in your community, both for yourself and for others. One of the things I try to do is live my life with no regrets. So I encourage you to enjoy life. Be nice to people. Do nice things for people. Fill your days with activities you enjoy. Have fun, but don't break the law. Make time for the people you love. Make time to relax. And don't forget to call your mom once in a while. Life certainly has its ups and downs, but if you live it with the right attitude, you will be much happier. Another one of my best friend coworkers often states that if you treat life as an endless source of entertainment, you will be much happier. I think that's a pretty good attitude. As you develop your careers and your lives beyond Penn State, I think it's important to stay connected to Penn State. I don't want to say Penn State gave you a quality education and fabulous social experience, because somebody paid for all of that. But I do want to say give back. Give back to Penn State. I don't necessarily mean financially, although certainly that is appreciated. Joining the Alumni Association is a simple way to stay connected. But you can really give back by helping to mentor students of all ages, creating or providing internship opportunities at your workplace, serving on the Alumni Society Board or Board of Trustees, or even just by participating in job fairs and career days. Help inspire others to pursue their dreams as you may have been inspired. Teach others. Share your Penn State pride. The last idea I want to share is, remember to say thank you. You did not get to where you are today, nor will you tomorrow, without help. Your success does not happen on your own. You had teachers, professors, mentors, friends, and especially family who loved you, encouraged you, inspired you, and supported you financially, emotionally, and mentally. There will always be people you go to for advice. All of these people deserve your thanks along the way. Likewise, if you are proud of someone for their accomplishments, tell them. There is nothing like earning the pride of your parents or your mentors. So make sure they know that pride exists. I have the pleasure of teaching an agriculture careers class to Penn State Mont Alto freshmen and sophomores from time to time. One of the things I teach is how to write a proper thank you note and why that is important. I learned that from my parents, as many of you did. Everyone likes to be appreciated, and a written note will be more remembered. 3 of my Mont Alto students are graduating today. I am proud of all of you who are receiving your degrees today, but I am especially proud of Andrew McDonald, Laura Grove, and Levi Smith. I was their teacher, but they inspired me, and they keep my faith in our future. Graduates, your Penn State degree will open doors to opportunities you cannot imagine right now. But there is responsibility connected with the degree you earned. Make sure you do right by your degree. Be honest, put forth your best effort, teach others, and continue to make the world proud to have Penn State alumni. Thank you very much for allowing me to share this special occasion with you. Congratulations, graduates.